Hey, we're the Massholes. We're on the West Coast. We're the West Coast Massholes. We're the Massholes on the West Coast. We were from Mass. We were holes when we're there, but we came out here and now we're West Coast Massholes.
I'm leaving meeting.
You're leaving meeting?
Well, that's what it said.
It just said meeting. Recording in progress. You said you're leaving the meeting. Don't leave the meeting. That's ridiculous. This is West Coast Massholes. I don't know why Josh wants to leave the meeting. It's just begun, but he wants to leave. I'm Todd Anderson. He's Josh Wingate. Together, we're the West Coast Massholes. Welcome to the show. What are you pointing at? Like, I think it reverses the image when I point this way when I watch the show. It looks like I'm pointing the wrong way, so I don't do that anymore because it looks stupid. I'm like, there's Josh Wingate, and now it probably looks like I'm pointing at you. But
and that's
before, when I point like this,
it's Anderson. Just do this.
Yeah, that's Josh Wingate right there, and I am Todd Anderson. This is West Coast Massholes, the longest introduction to West Coast Massholes ever. So welcome to history, everyone.
Hi.
I'm drinking a tea which Josh would shame me for. He would.
Yeah. I'm drinking the black nectar of the gods.
Coffee, yeah. It gives me diarrhea, so I don't drink it.
So you want to hear what my dumbass did yesterday?
Yeah.
I got into a debate thinking I could speak some rationale into somebody I know, because they posted a comparison picture of segregation in the United States against black folks, like, colored people waiting here, colored people only, or whites only. Back in the 50s, 60s, or whenever it was that these pictures were taken. And then below it, people like in businesses saying vaxxed people only or vaccinated only can drink out of this water fountain. And he compared the segregation of a race to somebody who is willingly choosing to not get vaccinated as equal. And I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, listen.
It's either that or they evoke that, and they evoke the gold stars that Jewish people had to wear in 1930s Germany. And it's I mean, it's wildly those are wildly racist and anti-Semitic things to do, to claim. But what's fascinating is the American white person, and I not all white people, blah blah blah, but whatever. It's almost half the country is Republican, and most of them are white, and most of them are always looking for a way to compare themselves to the worst victims in history. They're obsessed. Modern conservatives are obsessed with their victimization and trying to equate what they think is, infringing on their rights to things that were genuinely horrifying. And it's pathetic. It would be funny if it hadn't led to Donald Trump, and probably will lead to him again. It would be funny if that weren't the case, but it's not that funny to me, because it just feels like these people, whether witting or unwitting, are just trying to undo democracy in the name of their own victimhood, which doesn't actually exist. Get fucking vaccinated, you fucking wuss. You fucking ignorant wuss. Just get a fucking shot. You shouldn't need a lottery or a beer or a joint or any of that shit. Just be smart and get fucking vaccinated. I'm so tired of these people, Josh. Oh, it's early in the morning.
Well, I will say this. After a very long debate, and I just kept on the point, he finally said, you know what? I thought about it a little bit more, and he took down the post.
Oh, okay.
Because he's not a racist, and I've got it in his head, and I said, you might not be racist as a person, but that is inherently insensitive to what these people had done to them that they had no choice in. You can choose to be vaxxed or not. I'm not even going to debate that with you. That's your fucking right. I don't care. I do not care. At the end of the day, do what you want to do. But to compare that somebody might discriminate against you because you chose not to get vaccinated does not compare to, do you choose to be a Jew or not to be a Jew? Like, it's not like that. You are a Jew, you're going into the camps. You're black, you can't sit down at this counter. You can't be here. We'll enslave your ass. That is not fucking comparable. And he finally it finally got to him. So I was so pissed at myself that I even entered this debate because, you know, he's a conspiracy theorist. Still thinks the election was a fraud because he saw it with his own eyes, which means he saw somebody put fake evidence online, and that means he saw it with his own eye. Like,
did your not racist friend witness on television the insurrection of January 6th?
Oh, I brought it up, and guess what? I brought it up
with his own fucking eyes. Did he see it?
Yeah, but guess what happened? I brought it up, and guess what didn't get acknowledged? The insurrection. And yeah, and then I brought up like, well, what? And I said, well, on what basis are you deciding not to take the shot? I just would like to know. And a true curious thing. And he brought up VAERS, the vaccine like it's like VAERS. It's a government website where people can report adverse reactions to a vaccine. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the website. I'm like, I see what it is. And then I look up, you know, VAERS reports. And Reuters did a facts check on it. And it's like, well, none of these cases are actually verified. And actually, a lot of these cases were people who were in near death anyways, like, or near sickness. Like, they were older because it was early on in the vaccine process where, you know, someone who was more susceptible to being killed by COVID would get the shot early, right? This is how we rolled out the vaccines, correct? Mm-hmm. The elderly and, well, first we had frontline essential workers and people of a certain age bracket and of risk. People of a certain age bracket and of risk already had all these comorbidities. So the shot wasn't really what necessarily hit him. It doesn't mean there weren't any adverse effects. Of course there are. Of course, there's going to be an adverse effect to somebody getting the shot. But the numbers is like, so I'm like, well, I brought up these facts, and he's like,
and the risks of getting COVID and the complications that come from getting COVID are way greater than any risk that the vaccination comes.
Yeah, especially if you have comorbidities.
So yeah, so it's more risky. More risky to be unvaccinated than vaccinated.
Right. But
it's math.
Listen,
simple math.
I'm just going to give people their due diligence, whatever. And so I brought up this thing saying that these reports aren't even verified. They can't even be proven that they're real reports. He goes, oh, I stopped listening to those fact checkers a long time ago. So I said, okay, but you trust the government? He's like, no. Well, this is a government website. Yeah, but you trust this website. Yeah. Because it helps your argument.
Because it says what you want it to say.
Right. Yeah. And you bring up the race thing because, by the way, it's been going on for a long time in this country, people refusing service to someone of color because they didn't want to. And legally getting away with it because we can refuse right to service. So we can refuse the right to serve or whatever. It's our right to refuse service to whoever we deem. It was brought up with in the LGBTQ community with the famous cake maker guy who wouldn't do it for homosexuals. But now all of a sudden there's a possibility, it's not even factual, but there's a possibility that your white ass might not get served at a business and your job might not allow you to come back to work. Might. And now the world's fucking ending. Right. Where were you when this issue was happening with people of color? Where were you when this issue was happening with homosexuals and people in the LGBTQ community? Where were you then? Oh, you didn't give a fuck because it didn't fucking personally affect you.
Right.
I'm wearing my my Pride Go the Fuck Outside t-shirt today. This is a
Nice.
company that supports like outside shit, like getting out there, and it's my Pride shirt. So, and Pride doesn't mean politics, you dumb shits. Pride means like supporting people who have fucking fought hard for rights, man. And I will fucking always support people who fight hard for have the same rights as you dumbass. It's not taking your rights away, you stupid shit. It's fucking having the same rights as you. You fucking.
I don't know
entitled
how you didn't block that guy. I would have blocked that guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, well,
I mean, God bless you for having the conversation long enough to get him to take the post down. But I would have just blocked that guy. I got no. I don't want to have any more conversations with people like that. You can't have arguments with people who don't traffic in facts. You can't have arguments with people in a cult. You can't. It's pointless. Block them.
No.
I think the best thing that we can do as enlightened human beings is to fucking scrape all those motherfuckers off and keep them out of our lives. So eventually they'll all gravitate towards each other in like some weird part of Kentucky or something, and they can all hang out there and scream at each other about their
but the issue is, Todd, and you a smart man, the issue is 74 million people. This is the issue.
Yeah, but they can all go to Kentucky.
No, right. But that's not fucking rational. It's
well,
just
right
not
now,
going to happen.
Right now, no, I mean, just we'll push them out. I mean, already we've got people defecting to Arizona and Texas from California all the time, which I think is absolutely great. And I want to keep it going. So if you block these people, Josh, they'll leave California, assuming they're in California.
Well, yeah, this is another liberal state. He's from Massachusetts. So, which is getting closer to red as we speak, it's just so that's the thing. I love that idea and concept of like, okay, you're an idiot, we'll just scrape you away. But 74 million people, the largest election in history, most votes ever, Biden. If Biden, second most votes ever, Trump. That's in history.
Yeah.
Well, yes, filter in population growth and, whatever that, but the fact that many people were involved. And that many people were involved on both sides, and it's scary because
it is scary that so many people would literally use their vote to remove their right to vote. Because I mean, that's what's going to happen when the Republicans are in full control. They're going to make voting pointless. It already, when we can't form a commission to investigate the terrorist insurrection of January 6th. It kind of feels that way even with Democrats in power, unfortunately, right now. So I definitely think with the midterms, the Republicans are going to retake the House. And I think in large, it will be because people won't get out to vote. I mean, historically, people don't vote in the midterms as much as they do in the national elections.
Well, in the midterms, so you have to be registered with a certain party.
I don't know.
I think it used to be that way. That's
I
why
don't think so. I mean, I think like certainly the Democratic Party is welcoming to people who are independent or they make it easy to vote, and in the primaries and all that stuff if you're not a registered Democrat. So I can't remember how it works in the midterms, but just the fact that they can't form this commission to investigate the insurrection. I mean, it really does look to a lot of people like their vote doesn't matter because they didn't vote. They voted for Biden in a lot of ways, not just to get vaccinated and shit, but also to take care of this fucking problem.
Yeah.
And there's been no executive order. I mean, I realize that we're stymied because of Manchin and the Republicans and the filibuster and all that, but we're not there. There's no aggression from the Democratic side about this. It's just a lot of finger wagging at best, but there isn't even, like people should be on TV every day, our top Democratic politicians screaming about the terrorist insurrection of the 6th. And we need to do something about it. And the Republicans are trying to cover it up. They should be saying that. Yeah. That should be their message, the same way Trump's message. And that message, by the way, is the truth. It's a reality, and Americans should be made very aware of it. but you just do it like Trump does his lies. You just repeat the same way he repeated his big lie. This election's a fraud. This election's a fraud. This election's a fraud. It worked, and he got stuff done just perpetuating that one lie. So how about the Democrats perpetuate the truth and say it every day and use their social platforms and the media and everything the same way Trump does to get that message out there? Why aren't we doing that? I'm just confused. I'm confused. Oh, and there's George Takei telling me to shut the fuck up.
Well, we'll leave with confusion and a glorious fuck you, Nazis.
Fuck you, Nazis. I don't know what political party is going to do a goddamn thing about you, but fuck you. We'll see you next time. This has been a Blursh production. Blursh.